Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It is Monday, December 8th, just a little before 5:30, and this is our daily recap for our YieldMax individual income funds, CONY, MSTY, NVDY, and TSLY. Obviously trading off of Coinbase, MSTR, which is now named Strategy, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Quick reminder, I'm on X as well, at ETF_Inspector1. This video is going to be quicker than usual. Unfortunately, we got way too many plans tonight with sports practices, multiple sports practices, as well as Christmas parties. So I did not have the time to wait. The trades have not even come out yet. So this is just going to be holdings, where things stand, how the underlyings move today. So we're going to be pretty quick. We'll start off as soon as I can find it. I've been updating this too much lately. Okay. Coinbase up 1.66%. CONY up 1.44%. So doing a good job of nearly keeping up. MSTR up 2.63%. MSTY up 2.14%. Today's the first day of them trading at their new rate after the 1-for-5 reverse split. NVIDIA was up 1.72%. NVIDIA going up 1.23%. And Tesla had a rough day, down 3.39%. Tesla not quite taking as much of a beating, down 2.78%. All right, we'll take a look. So like I said, the trades are not actually out yet. They would be coming out pretty soon. You just scroll down and download. And if this is only like 200 and something, oh, it just came out. I checked it. You can see I checked it 5 minutes ago. So it's there. All right, we can take a real quick peek, but we're not going to be able to input them. Aptly, GUI, Netflix. CONY had a couple trades closing out the synthetic, big one there. You know what? It's small enough. Let's just do it live. All right, so if we put CONY in there, we're going to go equals this one times that one times 100 shares per contract. You got to drag it down. And then when we're buying, we spend money. And we'll total all of it up. And it was actually a positive $12 million. So they closed out the 260 synthetic and opened a 270 synthetic. Went from December 19th, so not too long from now, until January of next year, 16th. So $12 million. And then that's going to be this one right here is what got closed out. So there was no other options. It was just swapping that to a new. So they did well with that one, made a little bit of money. When we take a look based off of trading today, they didn't close any of these out, so they're still all in play. We talked about them in our week look ahead. Sold calls are at 275, 277.50, 280, 285, and 287.50. All are still out of the money, but getting fairly close on the first ones. 0.29 to 4.85% out of the money. They are selling 96% of their possible calls, so they could have sold a little bit more after today's increase, but the nice thing is that 4% of these holdings went up 100%, 1-for-1 with coins increase today. We now have we've got synthetics now at 270 and 280 after that gets updated. So the 280 is still underwater just a little bit. Today's moves gets it just a little closer. But it is still $5.80 away from hitting that strike, which would kind of be a break-even point. That is if there's the same premium for upside as far as downside. It's not always perfect. There's $833 million in cash in assets under management, 17.9 million outstanding shares. The NAV at the start of the day, 46.57, closing around 47.22. Nice day. And if you missed my week look ahead and guesstimate video, my guess was 60 cents. It'll probably be higher, but it was just hard to come up with a guess after last week's enormous payment of $1.13. All right, next we'll look at MSTY, and again we saw a little bit of trades on MSTY, but it's not much, so we can do a quick process of it and just tell you what it was. You're getting to see some of the behind the scenes. Usually there's a whole lot more, so it takes longer, but I'm also not doing all the grouping and sorting that I would normally do. I'm not going to be able to show you what which options are cleared on the next page, but anything's better than nothing. So today's trading cost $9.2 million. As far as that's concerned, I actually forgot this is a synthetic as well, closing out 1,000 contracts on the synthetic, so then closing out the 1,000 that are being traded to go along with it, and adjusting some of their other side of their call spreads as well. All in all, 9.2 million. Let me go ahead and do this just so I don't forget. All right, when we switch over to our holdings, we've got synthetics at 255, 270, and 300 all for January 16th, and then 165 for February 20th. The February 20th is the only one that's doing well with a stock price around 183. So everything is going to move up nicely after a 2.6% increase today, but the negatives will still be way negative. As you can see, they're 38 to 63% out of the money, but that 165 is moving even further, so that helps. Calls sold for this week range from 185, 187.50, 190, 192.50, and 195. All are still out of the money, but again, the top ones are getting close, 0.7 through 6.1% out of the money. They are only selling 79% of their possible calls, so 21% of these holdings increased dollar for dollar with MSTR's upward movement. And while we didn't hit the cap, we did definitely, when you get close, it's still going to increase the cost to close out. So you're not officially capped, but for today you were. Now, if you had a flat day tomorrow, MSTY would move up, as these would just become less expensive to close out. There's 1.8 billion in assets under management, just about 260 million outstanding shares. Oof, and that's actually everything's basically going to be divided by 5. So at the time of making the spreadsheet, it still hadn't changed, but most likely for tonight's holdings upload, everything will come out. This will be divided by 5, and so that'll be multiplied by 5, and we already know that happened because shares traded in the $35 range today. Guesstimate for this week's payment that I made on the weekend video was 65 cents. All right, next we've got NVDY. I don't think there was any more trades. TSLY for some reason is always at the top, so it's not really in an alphabetical order. And once you get to ULTI, now you're past all the individuals. So there's no trades in NVDY or TSLY, so we can just look. NVIDIA was up, so was NVDY. Not able to keep up quite as much because the 185s did hit their cap. They went into the money by 0.3%. 187.50s are 1% out of the money. Both their synthetics are still underwater at 195 and 200 for January 16th, but the 195s are getting close with shares trading above 185 today. There's 1.6 billion in assets under management, over 111 million outstanding shares, and a NAV at the start of the day 1468, closing around 1488, selling 100% of the possible calls, and my guesstimate for this week's payment is 17 cents. We'll find out on Wednesday in 2 days. I do want to hit on, I've had people reaching out to me about not receiving their payments. Seems like it's been MSTY, TSLY, ULTI. People have been reaching out about. I did reach out to Josh from Round Hill in email today, and he got back and said they are aware of it. They were asking for any information extra that I had just in case they were not as far along. So I've passed on from the people who watch this video. I've heard Webull, Robinhood, and Wealth Simple. I believe Clive was the one that said Wealth Simple out of Canada. But if there's any more, you can let me know. They are aware of it. They're looking into it, trying to help fix the problem. That's as much. And he said once, if they get more information, they'll let us know. Okay, TSLY again, no trades. Wait, did I? Yeah, I went over NVDY. Yep, 17 cents. Last one's TSLY. TSLY got beat up today. TSLY actually did, or TSLY did pretty good compared to TSLY, but either way, down. And the reason it's going to do better is because the cost to close out their options is going to rapidly decrease, which is going to overall increase their net assets. Calls are sold anywhere from 462.50, 465, 467.50, and 470, 5.2 to 6.9% out of the money. Synthetics are at 450 and 470. The 450 started the day in the money and doing well, worth $9 million. After today, that's going to be ugly. Both will be underwater at this point. There's 1.1 billion in assets under management, just under 30 million outstanding shares, $39.23 NAV at the start of the day, closing around 38.13. They're selling 100% of their possible calls, and the guesstimate that I made, pretty crazy. Some people think it was a little high, maybe me too. 85 cents. So that's our whole update. Luckily, we got to see some of the trades in the middle, so we got everything in. You didn't really miss out on anything. So I got a dad joke and then get you out of here. So thank you for watching. Appreciate all the support. And here's your joke. You've probably heard it. I've heard it. I actually heard a little kid at church tell it like a week ago. How do you make holy water? You boil the hell out of it. All right. Thank you. Good luck trading tomorrow, and I'll catch you in the next video.